refined through collaboration, and optimized through innovation. As we gather here today, let us begin with a thought that truly sets the tone. I am Shriya Ganguly, the Junior Publicity Chief of RAIT ACM Student Chapter, and it is my honor to be your host for the session. Today's topic is one that resonates strongly with the future of technology: generative AI. We are here to explore two of its most important tools: LLMs and retrieval augmented generation. A very warm welcome to our esteemed speaker for this session, Ms. Saili Jadhav, a Gen AI expert specializing in large language models at Serens AI, Pune. We also extend our heartfelt gratitude to our Honorable Principal, Dr. Mukesh D. Patil, for giving us the opportunity of making such innovative events happen. I would also like to extend my gratitude to Dr. Sangeeta Chaudhary ma'am, HOD of CSE department, and Dr. Pallavi Chavan ma'am, HOD of IT department, for the invaluable guidance throughout the planning of this event. Finally, a very warm welcome to all the faculty members, students, and participants from all over the nation. Your presence today reflects a collective enthusiasm for learning and innovation, and we are excited to embark on this enriching journey together. Your presence has truly delighted us. We are fortunate to have us with us Ms. Saili Jadhav, who brings deep industry experience in Gen AI and data science. She is currently working with Serens AI in Pune, where she contributes to the development of contro- uh, convention, conversational and voice AI solutions built on large language models. Ms. Siley's work focuses on bridging the gap between theoretical AI models and their applications in real world contents, be it in smart assistants, multilingual voice interfaces, or enterprise AI products. Today, she will guide us through how LLMs are built and optimized, and how techniques like retrieval augmented generations are improved. We are delighted to have Mr. Shreyas Pingle, who served as the webmaster of RAIT ACM student chapter during academic year 2023-2024. He is one of our speakers for today, joining us alongside Saili Jadhav. A passionate software engineer specializing in AI, Shreyash brings hands on experience with LLMs, vector databases, and voice driven applications. He has built impactful RAG based AI systems and has worked extensively on fine tuning ASR and TTS models. Currently, he is exploring the architecture and optimization of TTS systems, striving to push the boundaries of voice technology. We are honored to have both of you with us today. I now ask the speakers to begin the session.
Am I audible now?
Yes, ma'am. Audible.
Okay. Thank you. So I'll share my PPT with you guys. So a very warm welcome to you guys. Welcome to the session in which we will be decoding LLMs and RAGs and generate having a deep dive into these topics. So these are the buzzwords, and according to what I know, here there are second year students as well. So we'll go from basics and reach till a point where we can implement the short application in RAG and LLMs. Okay. So over the next hour, we'll break down these buzzwords like LLMs, RAGs, and know what they actually are, and how they work, and where they are being used in real life, like real world explanation. And thank you, Shreya, for the introduction. But just telling you a bit more about me, I am a final year CSE AIML student from PCCOE College of Engineering, Pune. Currently, I am working with Serens as a TTS engineer, a TTS intern. Like TTS is text to speech. So I am making cars talk smarter. So that's my introduction. Back in the college, I was also part of robotics club. Robotics club, in the sense, we used to participate in Robocon competition that is held at New Delhi. So I was a computer vision engineer there. So I was in the robot C. So that was my work there. So my journeys with the AIML started as in when I got into the team. So here today I bring with me my experience in RAG, LLMs, AIML, deep learning, etc. And I hope this session would be good and interactive to you guys. Okay. So now I hope that this slide would look a total mess to you guys, because I want you not you guys being able to read any word of out of it, because this huge is the market. So if you ever think कि जगह है कि नहीं, time है कि नहीं, या is there a space for you guys, so this big is the industry. So taking applications in either it can be regarding a finance domain, or being a healthcare domain, or being transportation, marketing, agriculture, everywhere AI has got its entry point. So it's a question, if is there a scope. So yes, it's definitely there. So, and the best part is that we are on the early stages of getting into this. So there is a lot of scope here. And if you are into coding, design, product research, so you have got a room in this huge space. So let's get into this massive ecosystem, and then let's understand the further concepts. So for the basics, even the like एकदम बेसिक से जाए तो व्हाट इज AI, ML एंड DL. सो आपको एक डायग्राम याद आती है, which is the superset, subset. This diagram is the very basic one where you can entirely understand what is AI, ML and DL. तो अगर किसी ने पूछा कि what is AI, so AI is the biggest umbrella in which comprises of everything, including image processing, or maybe it's computer vision, or maybe it's deep learning, NLP, MLD, anything, everything comes under AI. So it's a technology that makes machines smart and makes it capable of performing tasks like human. So it gives the intelligence to a basic thing which can makes machine think on its own and take decisions on its own. Okay. So now comes the machine learning. Here it comes to learn and improve from the experience. For example, if you have got to the assignments in which you have to do the iris class predictions. Okay. So there comes the part of machine learning in which you use various algorithms, mathematical algorithms like SVMs, or anything, logistic regression, linear regression, everything comes under the machine learning part. And when it comes to deep learning, here comes the role of artificial neural networks, that are the ANNs. And this is the biggest domain which is into market, that is the deep learning part, because it imitates how your brain works. So for example, um, recognizing human faces, or even the attendance that gets recorded each day of your teachers, everything is under deep learning. Okay, so this is the biggest scope out of it. So in simple terms, AI is the umbrella of making machine Sorry, if it's now, is it now okay? I hope it's okay. Okay. Huh. So AI is the like what was there? Where was it? So in simple terms, if we want to conclude everything, AI जो एक बड़ी सी umbrella है in which we are making the machines smart. The second is ML, which is teaching how to learn from the data. And the third one is DL, in which we are using neural networks for making machines understand the complex terms. So here, the role comes including we deal with images, we deal with speech, we deal with languages, we deal with videos. Everything comes under the deep learning part. Okay. So now is the next thing. So terms you must know. So these are around 36 terms, which are really important, basic ones. But for getting like attending even the lecture, if you are very beginner one, so you should know these terms. Okay, so I listed these 36 terms, and it looks like a lot, but we can understand those. So let's go one by one. I'll just read out. Most of you guys might be familiar with these terms. So first one is AI, then MLDL, which we have already covered. Neural networks, they are the interconnections between the nodes. It comprises of activation functions, it comprises of weights, it comprises of biases. Also here I want to note one thing, that if and only if you want to learn deep learning, I'll suggest you guys a course which is available on Coursera, through which I got to know the mathematical understanding of deep learning. मतलब अगर न्यूरल मतलब नेटवर्क्स दिए हैं, एक्टिवेशन फंक्शंस दिए हैं, आपको बैक प्रोपोगेशन लगाना है, तो you can like that's the best course I have got. You can go through that too. Okay. Then comes the supervised learning, unsupervised learning, where supervised means you got a labeled data, and in unsupervised learning you have gotten unlabeled data. Okay. Then comes the reinforcement learning. This is a trial and error based method. If you know the compass world problem in AI, then you can understand the reinforcement learning very well. Okay. Then comes the NLP, that is the natural language processing. Here it comes around the libraries like NLTK, Spacey, everything comes under this. Okay. How does a word is converted into a vector? How does it get passed to a neural network? Everything comes under NLP. Then is the computer vision. This is my favorite part because I've worked on this. Here it focuses on enabling computers to see and interpret the visual world. Okay, so for example, in my college when I was working with robots, so there our task was to put some rings in the pole. So for that we had to detect the pole. For that we have to make our machine learn to know that this object is the pole. For that we used computer vision in that sense. Here comes the role of deep learning too, because we have to train a model to learn and understand this is a pole. Okay, also there are various poles, so we have to make the computer understand this is pole number 1, this had got 20 points, we have to put this ring into this pole. So making this process comes under the computer vision part. Okay, may it be edge detection, may it be shape detection, everything comes under computer vision part. This is a very interesting term. So I would highly recommend you to go into this domain if you like robotics part. Okay, then comes the chatbot. This is a buzzword. Yeah, we all use chatbots every day. Every website has gotten its own chatbot. Okay, then comes the IoT. This is interconnected device collection and sharing data. IoT is really important even in robotics too. So this plays a major role. Then comes the cloud computing. This is like various storage and services related to if you, for example, if you have to store a huge amount of data, we don't have access locally anywhere. So we here comes the role of cloud computing. Here we deliver cloud computing services like storage and server over the internet. Then the biases in AI, then the algorithms, data mining, big data, robotics, algorithms, then the transfer learning. This term is very important because here we use the pre-trained models. For example, using an LLM, we always use a pre-trained model rather than training it from scratch, because training requires a lot of amount of data and also a huge resource that comes under the GPUs. So it's not feasible for everyone. So we mostly use transfer learning. We use the fine-tuned model here. Okay. Then comes the edge computing. Edge computing would be a bit into ENTC side, but using the Jetson, if you have ever got into robotics, you might know what is Arduino, what is Jetson Nano, Jetson Mega. So these all things comes under the edge computing. Then comes the explainable AI. So even this is a buzzword. For example, if a model takes some decision, to know why that decision is taken and on basis of what features has the decision been taken, this can be done through explainable AI, because I have used this in my own project of like third year, so I know a bit about this too. So making AI models understandable by humans. Okay. Then comes the GANs. These are generative adversarial neural networks. So here the major applications are creating data sets. Okay, for training any model, you need a large amount of data set. And it's not very um, usual that you have a high quality data set. So there comes the role of GANs, where it comprises of a generator and a discriminator, and then by use of those things, we develop data set of our own. Then is the edge AI ethics, generative AI, LLMs, training data, fine tuning LLMs, hallucinations. This word you guys might know this. Then comes the GPT, then prompt, then comes the prompt engineering, explainable AI, then the neural networks, semantic database, and structured data. So these are the 36 terms. If you want to get deep insights over this, I have attached a link here. So if you guys want to know more about this, you can go through this link. Okay. Then I want to introduce Gen AI into AI, ML, and deep learning. So generative AI comes under the umbrella of deep learning. Okay. So here the type it in generative AI, it's a type of ANN that generates data that is similar to the data it was trained on. So if you train a model on an image data set, then you can generate an image out of it. If you train a model on textual data, then you can generate text out of that. Everything comes under generative AI. Okay, we'll know more about it. So now comes the I guess this. Now comes the large language models, that is the LLMs. So here we'll get this in short, because LLMs is the most advanced AI system which is trained, like everyone uses LLMs. I consider everyone uses LLMs on daily basis here, from completing assignments to doing everything. Okay. So here comes the LLM, which is an AI advanced system, which is designed to understand, generate, and interact using human languages. So many Gen AI tools are there, like Cloud AI, GPT, then Mistral, Bard, everything, Gemini, everything. These all are the LLM tools. Okay, so the major job of LLM is to predict the next word in a sentence based on the words that came before. Okay, because LLM, in short, if you want to know what exactly is LLM, it's a multi-dimensional vector. Okay, it only consists of हाँ, okay, Google Notebook LLM. Okay, great. So this might sound simple, but to do this well, model needs to have a deep grasp of grammar. Like the LLM must understand what grammar is, what the meaning of the words is, what is the context of this, and then it generates a text which is very fluent, with which is very relevant to the query we have asked. Okay, so there are major two parts in an LLM. The first one is the parameter file. Here it stores its weights. So whenever an LLM is trained, so it consists of its own weights, because a neural network, each neuron is joined with a weight, with an activation function, with a bias, with, like, everything is considered under that, and everything is taken into account by a parameter file. Okay, so these weights determine how the model processes the language. ठीक है, फिर देन कम्स द रन फाइल, जिसमें ये जो जो भी वेट्स है ना, तो उसको एक्चुअली इट जनरेट्स द टेक्स्ट आउटपुट व्हेन यू लाइक स्टार्ट इंटरेक्टिंग विद द मॉडल. रन फाइल हम लोग बस रन फाइल के साथ इंटरेक्ट करते हैं rather than the parameter file. The parameter files, see, I have given in the PPT. For example, the Llama 2 70 billion. 70 billion is the parameter. Okay, so model has a parameter file that is approximately 140 GBs in size. So it's not possible to interact with a file of 140 GBs as in the local computer. Okay, so we often deal with only the run file because it's the execution file. Okay, so this is LLM. Then comes the attention mechanism. If anyone can tell me, where have you heard this word attention mechanism, if it's possible, on chats maybe, if it's possible. Where have you heard this word attention mechanism? Like, under which term this attention mechanism comes? कहीं पे सुना होगा ना कि attention mechanism कहाँ पे आता है. If you have, you can write in chats. Okay, no worries. So attention mechanism हमने transformers, हाँ, hallucination ना वो LLM के अंडर आता है. This is a good term. बट hallucination वो LLMs के अंडर आता है जब उनके पास adequate amount of information नहीं होती है. So then हमारा काम आता है मतलब, तो ऑफन LLM मॉडल्स हैलुसिनेट करते हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल, अगर मेरा LLM 2023 तक के इंफॉर्मेशन के लिए ट्रेंड है, ठीक है, देन इट कांट प्रेडिक्ट कि आज का इस कंपनी का CEO कौन है, बिकॉज टुडेज इंफॉर्मेशन इज नॉट मतलब LLM के अंडर इंक्लूडेड है. ठीक है, तो फिर हेलुसिनेट करते हैं अगर वो टर्म के अकॉर्डिंग. बट द राइट आंसर वुड बी अटेंशन मैकेनिज्म कम्स अंडर ट्रांसफॉर्मर्स. ओके, so I'll tell you what attention mechanism is. So this was a game changer obviously in AI. So क्या होता है कि एक सेंटेंस है, जैसे आई वॉन्ट टू विजिट द बैंक टुडे टू विदड्रॉ सम मनी, अगर ये एक एग्जाम्पल है. ओके, और एक सेकेंड एग्जाम्पल है, द आई आई हैव टू टेक द बोट विच इज ऑन द बैंक ऑफ द रिवर. सो ये जो बैंक वर्ड है दोनों सेंटेंसेस में अलग मीनिंग लाता है. ओके, इन द फर्स्ट सेंटेंस बैंक का मतलब जहाँ पे हमें वी हैव टू लाइक विदड्रॉ और डेबिट सम मनी. ओके, और द सेकेंड वर्ड बैंक मतलब वो रिवर वाला बैंक है. ठीक है, तो ये LLM को कैसे समझेगा कि ये वाला तो रिवर वाला है, ये वाला तो मनी से रिलेटेड है. तो इसमें अटेंशन मैकेनिज्म का रोल प्ले होता है. जैसे कि the main goal here is to help the AI focus on the most important and the relevant parts of the input data. ठीक है, so it's all about paying like LLM को कौन से वर्ड पे ज़्यादा एम्फेसिस करना है. ठीक है, उसको किस वर्ड पे ज़्यादा डिटेल्ड और मतलब डिटेल्ड एनालिसिस करना पड़ेगा, सो दैट अ करेक्ट इन्फॉर्मेशन इज गिवन टू द यूजर जो भी क्वेरी फायर हुई उस पर. ठीक है, सो इसमें क्या होता है कि एक, जैसे अगर मैंने एग्जांपल देना चाहा तो फॉर एग्जाम्पल मतलब यहाँ पे तीन की वैल्यू और क्वेरी के वी एंड क्यू, इन तीनों का मैथमेटिकल कॉम्बिनेशन होता है कि उसमें एक डॉट प्रोडक्ट होता है, क्रॉस प्रोडक्ट होता है और उससे कंबाइन होके एक बनता है जिससे सिमेंटिक रिलेशनशिप डिफाइन होता है किसी भी मॉडल। सो दैट इज अटेंशन मैकेनिज्म। अगर मैं एग्जांपल देना चाहूँ तो फॉर एग्जांपल यू हैव टू ऑर्डर फूड इन अ रेस्टोरेंट। ओके, एक वेटर आएगा और आप 5 फ्रेंड्स हो, ठीक है। सो हर एक इंसान एक एक डालेगा कि आई वांट पिज्ज़ा, आई वांट दिस, आई वांट दैट। हर एक इंसान अपनी अपनी डिश का नाम वो वेटर को बताएगा। ओके, दैट्स द ऑर्डर। फिर बाद में वो वेटर को वो जाके एक किचन में जाके बताना पड़ेगा कि ये इसके इसके इतने इतने ऑर्डर्स। सो व्हेन इट कम्स टू इनपुट एनकोडिंग, आप रिलेट करके ट्राई करो, लाइक टर्म्स ऑफ एआई एंड टर्म्स ऑफ दिस एग्जांपल दैट आई एम गिविंग यू, ठीक है। तो उसमें क्या होता है कि वेटर नोट डाउन करता है उसके डायरी में कि ये चाहिए, ये नहीं चाहिए, आई वांट पिज्ज़ा, आई वांट सलाद, एक्सेट्रा, ठीक है। फिर अब आता है अटेंशन स्टेप्स का कि अब ईच पर्सन को सुना गया है और उसको समझा गया बाय द वेटर, एंड इट हैज इट्स ओन इंटरनल रिप्रेजेंटेशन। द बुक इन विच ही राइट्स इज द वेक्टर एनकोडिंग बुक, ओके, इज द वेक्टर स्पेस। वहाँ पे इनपुट एनकोडिंग होता है, ठीक है। देन इज द क्वेरी जनरेशन। अब किचन में गए वो वेटर, अपना बुक लेके किचन में गया, तो फिर दैट किचन वुड आस्क कि टेल द ऑर्डर्स हु वांट्स पिज्ज़ा। फिर क्या होगा कि ये क्वेरी जनरेशन हो गया, ये क्वेरी जनरेशन का टास्क हो गया, ठीक है। देन कम्स द की वैल्यू पेयर वाला टास्क। अब जो इंसान को लाइक वो एक मैप के टर्म्स में स्टोर होगा, लाइक डिक्शनरी के टर्म्स में स्टोर होगा कि ये अमन को ये चाहिए। लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल इफ आई टेक आस्था को पिज्ज़ा चाहिए, अर्नव को XYZ चीज़ चाहिए, ठीक है। फिर ऐसा एक डिक्शनरी फॉर्मेट में एक रिप्रेजेंटेशन बनेगा। सो क्या फिर क्या होगा, वो जो इनपुट एनकोडिंग है वो की वैल्यू पेयर के साथ मैप होगा, ठीक है, टू बेटर अंडरस्टैंड द प्रॉब्लम, ठीक है। आई होप आई एम आई ऑडिबल? ओके, सो क्या होगा कि सिमिलैरिटी सर्च होगा और फिर किचन को आंसर दिया जाएगा कि ओके ये ऑर्डर का ये चीज़ है। तो एम्फेसिस देने का जो प्रोसेस है ना, दैट्स द अटेंशन मैकेनिज्म, ठीक है, इन विच यू मतलब कैलकुलेटेड आंसर होता है ये सब कुछ, ठीक है। की वैल्यू पेयर क्वेरी के साथ डॉट प्रोडक्ट क्रॉस प्रोडक्ट करके आंसर दिया जाता है और एक फोकस्ड आंसर दिया जाता है। ओके, सो दिस इज द अटेंशन मैकेनिज्म इन एआई। Now is the retrieval augmented generation. So this is basically a framework in which the model performs augmenting prompts with relevant data outside the foundational model, grounding LLM's response on the trustworthy information. मतलब क्या होता है, जो किसी ने एक वर्ड टाइप किया था hallucination, वो टर्म को अवॉइड करने के लिए रैग प्लेज अ मेजर रोल। बिकॉज रैग क्या होता है कि हम लोग एक पीस ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन देते हैं, वो उसी पे सिमेंटिक सर्च करता है rather than going everywhere, ठीक है। इट यूजेस LLM but it goes through a relevant information that is being provided by the user, okay। So रैग रिट्रीवर ऑगमेंटेड जनरेटर, इसी एक टर्म में ना दो चीज़ें, दैट इज द रिट्रीवर, उसका सेंस बनता है कि रिट्रीवर, और जनरेशन उसमें होता है जनरेटर। सो इट्स द कॉम्बिनेशन ऑफ सर्च इंजन दैट इज द रिट्रीवर पार्ट एंड द लैंग्वेज मॉडल दैट इज द जनरेटर पार्ट। सो रिट्रीवर वो कहा, रिट्रीवर का काम क्या होगा, जो भी हमने डॉक्यूमेंट्स पास किए हैं इन अनऑर्डर्ड फॉर्मेट, फिर उसमें से वो yes,
అన్న की बिरयानी ऊपर मट्टी ఉంది अंदर
uh, ठीक है। सो इट्स लाइक कंबाइनिंग अ सर्च इंजन एंड अ लैंग्वेज मॉडल, ठीक है। रैग का यही एक इम्पोर्टेंस है। सो उसका मेजर आर्किटेक्चर में दो टर्म्स ये जो इन्वॉल्व है उसका एक रेलेवेंस है। और फिर क्या होता है कि रेलेवेंट डॉक्यूमेंट्स एक लार्ज नॉलेज बेस मतलब जहाँ पे जिसके अकॉर्डिंग द आंसर्स ऑफ द क्वेरीज आर गिवन। ठीक है, वो लार्ज लैंग्वेज मॉडल से it could be Wikipedia, it could be a private database, it could be some PDFs that you have given or anything। ठीक है, वो होता है रिट्रीवल डॉक्यूमेंट, रिट्राइव द डॉक्यूमेंट्स, वो होता है नॉलेज बेस। ठीक है, फिर द जनरेशन पार्ट में LLMs का रोल आता है, जिसमें इट यूजेस any LLM that you want to give। It could be GPT, it could be Mistral, some of the open source LLMs। You can use the Grok framework in which you can find a lot many LLMs। You can use that in your projects। ठीक है, I'll give you a better view of RAG in the next slides। First of all, let's understand what are embeddings। ठीक है, so semantic and syntactic relationship। सिमेंटिक एंड सिंटैटिक मतलब कंटेक्स्ट अवेयर रिलेशनशिप। किसी भी वर्ड का ढूंढने के लिए यू नीड एम्बेडिंग्स। ओके, कोई भी एक वर्ड है, लाइक इफ सम नेम Polmy। ठीक है, Polmy is a name, so we have to tell Polmy is in RAIT ACM। ओके, सो अब हमें अगर पॉलमी का एक वेक्टर स्टोर बनाना होगा। ठीक है, सो द LLM won't understand these words Polmy or RAIT, nothing। Okay, it has to be in a form of embedding, it has to be in a form of vector। Okay, so converting those things into vector is the work of embeddings। Okay, so if like what I have told, Polmy is in RAIT। Okay, so if you have to represent it in a form of vector, so giving you the most basic idea, which is not even used, is the one hot encoding। Okay, so for representing Polmy is in RAIT, so there are four words, right? So if I have to represent Polmy, so it would be charged as 1 0 0 0 because the other words are 0। So the vector for Polmy would be 1 0 0 0। Okay, the vector for RAIT as it comes on the fourth number, it would be 0 0 0 1। This is the type of vector representation we give। Okay, then it has many techniques of like bag of words, or it can be mm, TF-ID vector store। So there are many methods. I just gave you the most basic one so that you can understand this thing better। Okay, so there are pre-trained models of these two। So like it's BERT, which has the sentence level embeddings, then the OpenAI's text embeddings ADA 002, which is widely used in semantic search, then FAISS and Annoy are the tools that help us to efficiently search through these embeddings। Okay, so agar, if you want to understand how these nearest neighbors are calculated, there are many methods you can understand those through, like first one is the Euclidean। You guys might know what is Euclidean, if anyone knows it you can speak up, if anyone wants to share it they can speak up, if anyone wants to type it they can type। ठीक है, यूक्लिडियन डिस्टेंस, हाँ करेक्ट करेक्ट प्रणव, इट्स करेक्ट। कोऑर्डिनेट सिस्टम में वो यूज होता है। हमने टेंथ 12th 11th 12th में बहुत पढ़ा है व्हाट इज कोऑर्डिनेट सिस्टम, व्हाट इज यूक्लिडियन डिस्टेंस। जैसे एक एक्स कॉमा वाई एक पॉइंट है, एक दूसरा पॉइंट है x1 कॉमा y1, उन दोनों के बीच का अगर डिस्टेंस निकालना होगा तो इट्स अंडर रूट ऑफ x2 माइनस x1 का होल स्क्वायर प्लस y2 माइनस y1 का होल स्क्वायर। दिस गेट्स अस द बेटर अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ यूक्लिडियन डिस्टेंस। ठीक है, हाँ। देन द मैनहट्टन डिस्टेंस, ये तो बस एक नॉर्मल मॉड होता है, ये दिस इज नॉट वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। कोसाइन सिमिलैरिटी इज रियली वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। ठीक है, अब कोसाइन सिमिलैरिटी का अगर बताया जाए तो ये वेक्टर वाले थ्योरी चैप्टर्स में वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। ठीक है, कोसाइन मैट्रिक्स में हाउ डज इट वर्क, इफ आई वांट टू टेल यू हाउ डज इट वर्क, इफ यू हैव अ वेक्टर Do you know I cap, J cap, and K cap in vector system? Do you guys know this? Are you guys familiar with these terms? I cap, J cap. Okay, great. Yeah. So you have two vectors. Okay, we have two vectors. You have a coordinate system on x, y, and z axis. Okay, so if I take two vectors, that is x1 I cap, j1 x1 I cap, y1 j cap, and z1 k cap. This is the first vector, and the second vector would be x2 I cap, y2 j cap, and z2 k cap. Okay, these are the two vectors in our 3D vector space. So here, if I want to find the cosine similarity of it, do you guys know what is the formula of cos theta? Cos A, cos B upon mod A. Do you guys know it? Yeah. So here comes, we use that formula for the cosine similarity. We take the dot product and then divided by the divided it by the what to say, the value of each vector. Okay, under root of x1 square plus y1 square plus z1 square. This is the value of the first vector. The second vector's value is under root of x2 square plus y2 square plus z2 square. This is the value of second vector, and then we find out the cosine cos theta of it. Then cos theta gives us some value, and if we take the cos inverse of that value, we get the theta out of it. Okay, so the theta is the degree angle between those two vectors. The lesser is the angle, more is the similarity between those two vectors. For example, like you have two words, king, queen, and a fruit word. So king and queen would be in the vector space would be more nearer than the word fruit, because king and queen has some relationship between them rather than the word fruit. Fruit might have a relationship with a word called apple. So like try to imagine how these things work. Some like we can't actually see these things, but we have to understand these by some very real life examples so that you can get the better understanding out of these words. Okay, then the vector database. Now we have done the embedding part. Okay, embedding part is done. Now where to store these huge embeddings, because if you have to store a single word, you need a vector, a huge vector of it, single word into a huge vector of it. Okay, so here we need a vector database. Okay, so there are many trending right now. That is the FAISS, then the Pinechrome, then the Chroma DB, many such. So instead of just relying on the keywords and following the brute force search, we can first represent text data in a highly dimensional vector space. So and then we store it as a vector database. ठीक है. So मतलब ऐसा होता है कि आपको किसी वर्ड का सिनोनिम ढूंढना है. ठीक है. सो आप उसको directly मैप नहीं कर सकोगे. Like the keyword वाला approach is not adequate. Okay, you need the linguistic meaning of it, you need the semantic meaning of it, then you can search in the vector in the database. So for that purpose, vector database is very important, so that those cosine similarity metrics whatever we have taken out, this can be stored here, dumped here, and then used by our llms or RAG models. So like here I have given an example, like what's the weather like today. So these can be paraphrased in a numerous ways. ठीक है, जैसे कि बोल सकते हैं कि how's the weather today, is it sunny outside, what are the current weather conditions. like तीन मतलब हर इंसान का एक अलग वे होगा of asking that same question, right? तो फिर ऐसा तो नहीं है ना कि ये सेम क्वेश्चन किसी चीज में एक की वैल्यू पेयर में मैप्ड है और फिर हमने की ढूंढी और फिर जो उसकी वैल्यू है उसका आंसर दे दिया. ऐसा तो नहीं होगा, बिकॉज इतने सारे क्वेश्चंस का आंसर सेम हो सकता है. ठीक है, और इतनी स्पेस नहीं है कि हम लोग इतने सारे क्वेश्चंस का एक आंसर स्टोर कर पाए. सो हम लोग क्या करते हैं, सिमेंटिक मीनिंग पे चलते हैं. सब कुछ ये जो चलता है ना, सिमेंटिक मीनिंग पे चलता है. ये इसका एक वेक्टर निकालेगा, ये उसका सिमिलर सर्च उसके वेक्टर डेटाबेस में करेगा, वो रिट्राइव करेगा, फिर वो एलएलएम को देगा, फिर वो एक आंसर बनाएगा. ठीक है, इन दिस वे एवरीथिंग वर्क्स. सो vector database is done, embedding part is also done. Yeah, we'll go next slide. Now comes the contextual view of the RAG, which I already wanted to tell you. This is very important. Like, even I want to share one thing. In the Serens interview, I got this question raised by the person: what is the contextual view of RAG? ठीक है, इसका बेस्ट अंडरस्टैंडिंग होना बहुत ज़रूरी है. ठीक है, और मेन मतलब you have to learn it at an application level rather than just knowing things. ठीक है, I'll give you an example after this in which आपको समझ में आएगा कि रैग कैसे यूज़ करते हैं. एकदम बेसिक, नथिंग इन इट, जस्ट बेसिक. ठीक है, तो सबसे पहले हम लोग रैग का एक इंटरनल वर्किंग ट्राई करते हैं समझने का. So there are the key steps. Okay, the first one is the indexing. Here the document or the data is first split into smaller chunks. ठीक है, और ये चंक्स में क्यों से होता है, उसका एक रीज़न है कि हर एक एलएम का एक कॉन्टेक्स्ट विंडो है. ठीक है, वो कॉन्टेक्स्ट विंडो के बाहर नहीं जा सकता. ठीक है, अगर किसी एलएलएम का एबिलिटी है, मतलब जैसे किसी का पढ़ने का एक कैपेसिटी है 6 आवर्स का, और अब आप उसको 8 घंटा बिठा रहे हो, तो दैट्स नॉट पॉसिबल. सो दिस मतलब सेम वर्क करता है एलएलएम्स के साथ कि अगर आप उसको, उसका कॉन्टेक्स्ट विंडो है 80 वर्ड्स का, तो आप अगर उसमें 90 दे दोगे, सो इट वोंट वर्क प्रॉपर्ली. सो देर इज ऑलवेज अ कॉन्टेक्स्ट विंडो ऑफ ईच एंड एवरी एप्लीकेशन. आप, आई विल टेल यू सम वेबसाइट्स वेयर आप ये सब चेक कर सकते हो. ठीक है, so every chunk is converted into a vector, as we have already seen the embeddings, and then these are stored into the vector database. This is also, we have seen it already. Okay, then comes the retrieval part. Here the question comes in. The system searches the vector database to find the top k chunks. अब ऐसा है कि हर, मतलब बहुत सारे चंक्स में ये डिवाइड हो जाता है. हमें आंसर भी बहुत सारे चंक्स में मिलता है. वी हैव टू सिलेक्ट द टॉप के, द टॉप मोस्ट सिमिलर chunks. Okay, so these are the most relevant based on the semantic similarity. Semantic similarity मतलब context aware answer. Okay, then the meaning, it looks for the content that matches the meaning of the question, not just the keywords. Okay, उसका मीनिंग देखता है, कीवर्ड्स नहीं देखता है. जैसे वो बैंक वाला एग्जाम्पल, इट वोंट सी कि बस बैंक लिखा है तो कुछ भी मन गढ़ो, ऐसा नहीं होता है. इट वुड सी इट्स वर्ड्स दैट आर आफ्टर दैट, द वर्ड्स विच आर बिफोर दैट. Okay, it would see the contextual meaning and then give you an answer. Then comes the generation part. Then finally the original question and these retrieved chunks are then fed into a LLM. Okay, जो भी LLM आप use करोगे, फिर वो generate करता है text on the basis of the chunks which you have provided, and then it gives you a more accurate answer with all the grammar into it, all the relevant words into it, taking grounded in the like relevant data के साथ वो आपको एक आंसर जनरेट करके देगा. दैट्स द वर्क ऑफ एन एलएलएम. ठीक है, तो अगर हम लोग ये डायग्राम से ट्राई करें समझने का, so the user is there, the user fires a query that is turned into as an input. There are certain documents in which the documents are converted into indexes. Okay, indexes meaning chunking, chunking meaning division of those things. ठीक है, फिर that is converted into those embeddings, and then these this whole things comes under like finding the most relevant information out of those documents and the query which we have asked. So the combination of query and document takes place. Okay, there is semantic search wala thing comes into existence. क्वेरी के अकॉर्डिंग जो भी मोस्ट रेलेवेंट चंक्स है वो उस डेटा वेक्टर डेटाबेस, ये जो है ना इंडेक्सिंग डॉक्यूमेंट ये वाला पार्ट, ये सब एक वेक्टर डेटाबेस में स्टोर्ड है. ओके, फिर उसमें से रिट्राइव होता है अकॉर्डिंग टू द क्वेरी. ठीक है, फिर वो जो रिट्राइव डॉक्यूमेंट्स है वो इन फॉर्म ऑफ चंक्स स्टोर होते हैं। ठीक है, फिर क्या होता है, ये सारी चीज़ एलएलएम के पास जाती है। एलएलएम के पास दो चीज़ें जाती है, फर्स्ट वन इज द क्वेरी एंड द सेकेंड वन इज द नंबर ऑफ चंक्स। इसका एक पैरामीटर भी हम लोग पास करते हैं के नाम से। सो दीज चंक्स गेट पास्ड इनटू द LLM with including question, and then LLM generates an answer that is most relevant out of those terms, and then we get that answer. So with the help of RAG, see with RAG and without RAG. With RAG अगर वो information provided नहीं रहे, without RAG अगर वो information provided नहीं रहेगी तो वो बोलेगा it does not have any information. But with RAG क्या होगा, current information भी fed होगी, जैसे कि current CEO of some company और current anything, current prime minister, anything. With RAG क्या होता है, relevant information retrieve होती है. The basic importance of RAG is this one. So now I want to take you towards the implementation part. Here I'll show you. Just 1 second. I hope my PPT is visible. Also, I'll show you some of the websites if it's visible. This is the leaderboard for knowing the embedding models. ठीक है, अगर आप ये वाले लिंक पे जाओगे, ठीक है, we'll go down here. You can see the leaderboard of the models that are trending right now in LLMs. Sorry, in generative AI, which comes under the embedding leaderboard. You can check these out once in a while to just know what's going in the market. ठीक है? मतलब जैसे अभी आई वर्क इन TTS, सो TTS का भी अलग एक लीडर बोर्ड है, तो यू शुड ऑलवेज चेक what you are doing so that you can be the best in this thing. सो ये मॉडल्स यहाँ पे चेक कर सकते हो। फिर LLM का भी एक लीडर बोर्ड है, ये भी आप गो थ्रू कर सकते हो। यहाँ पे बहुत सारे ऑप्शंस भी है कि आपको कैसा चाहिए, फॉर कंज्यूमर्स, फॉर एज डिवाइसेस, अपने आप फिल्टर लगा के जैसे यूज करना है। यू गाइस कैन ट्राई दिस, जस्ट एक्सप्लोर करना ये स्पेस, बिकॉज आई फील दिस इज रियली इम्पोर्टेंट। देन विल गो टू द implementation part. I'll show you the implementation. I think to stop sharing and share it once again. Is this window visible to you guys? Okay. So I have implemented a small RAG-based application. यहाँ पे जस्ट क्या है कि आप एक डॉक्यूमेंट जो भी पास करोगे और उसके ऊपर अगर आप क्वेरी करोगे, यू विल गेट एन आंसर. जस्ट अ वेरी सिंपल ग्लिम्स ऑफ रैग. ओके, सो इफ इट्स, देखो मैंने पहले से इम्प्लीमेंट किया है, बट इफ यू वांट टू सी हियर I can show you. I'll run this command. It will take a while. It will take really good time. So ये सारी libraries important है. LangChain community, Grok. Here I am using Grok framework. Okay. ये open source होता है. इसका website भी दिखा सकती हूँ मैं. If you guys can see. Is it visible? It's not. So should I show this? I'll show you this thing. यहाँ पे you Grok. I have used this LLM because this is open source. यहाँ पे आप API की बना सकते हो अपना. So here comes ठीक है, यहाँ पे you have to create API की enter any name you want, like RIT. Okay, submit it. We'll copy this and use this. Okay, I'll show you how to use this API key if you guys don't know. So you just have to put Grok Cloud. You can even, if you want to understand this space, you can try this out. Okay, if you want the link, I'll share that too. Okay, I hope this is installed. Yeah, this is installed. First, I'll tell you how this code is working. So we are importing OS, PyPDF for reading the PDF files because I am uploading a document as a PDF. Okay. Then comes the chain text splitter, that is the character text splitter. Then comes the vector store, which I have already told you about, that is the FAISS. This is from Facebook. So this is used as a vector store. Then comes the embeddings. So we are using Hugging Face. I hope you guys know Hugging Face. I think you should explore this part, which is very important. You get everything here. You get data sets, you get pre-trained models, you get whatever you want. So do explore Hugging Face if you are in first year, second year. You should. Then Google Colab import files. Then Grok because we are using this framework. ठीक है. फिर यहाँ पे हम लोग अपलोडेड ये ऑब्जेक्ट बनाते हैं फ्रॉम फाइल्स डॉट अपलोड. मतलब इसमें क्या होता है कि वॉट एवर डॉक्यूमेंट यू अपलोड इट इज सेव्ड इन द फॉर्म ऑफ डिक्शनरी. ठीक है, की वैल्यू पेयर में डॉक्यूमेंट डॉट पी डी एफ, इसमें ये PDF स्टोर हुई है. ठीक है, फिर बाद में हम लोग PDF पाथ डालते हैं अपलोडेड के अंदर. ठीक है, फिर PDF पाथ में क्या होता है, वो डॉक्यूमेंट का नाम होता है. ठीक है, फिर एक रीडर इंट्रोड्यूस करते हैं जो हम लोगों ने PyPDF P2 यहाँ से लाया है. ठीक है, फिर बाद में रॉ टेक्स्ट इंट्रोड्यूस करते हैं. ये क्या करता है कि जो जो वो डॉक्यूमेंट में जो भी टेक्स्ट है वो रॉ टेक्स्ट ये स्ट्रिंग में ज्वाइन करता है. मतलब एक सिंगल स्ट्रिंग बन जाता है जिसमें पूरा टेक्स्ट आ जाता है. ठीक है, देन दिस इज द टेक्स्ट स्प्लिटर. इसमें वो चंकिंग वाला पार्ट इज कमिंग अंडर दिस. सो टेक्स्ट स्प्लिटर में क्या होता है कि जैसे इफ यू हैव 30 वर्ड्स, ठीक है, यू हैव टू टेक द सिमेंटिक मीनिंग ऑफ आउट ऑफ इट टू. सो अगर किसी वर्ड के बाद कोई वर्ड मिस हो रहा है तो वो नहीं होना चाहिए. तो उसके लिए क्या होता है कि एक चंक ओवरलैप नाम का भी चीज़ होता है. जैसे अब 30 वर्ड्स है तो यू विल टेक फर्स्ट 20 वर्ड्स, then in the second chunk you would take the words starting from 10 to 30. Like first we have taken 0 to 20, then we have taken 10 to 30 in this way. So there is an overlap of 10 words. This is made to ensure that it comprises all the semantic meaning also. Okay. Then comes the text splitter. So this chunking wala part is done on the raw text. Okay. Then we have used an embedding model. We have used the Hugging Face model. So we have used the All Mini LM L6 V2. Okay. Then we have used the database. So this is the FACE one. This is the Facebook one. Okay. Here we have passed all the text which contains the chunks. Okay. And the embedding model that we are using. Okay. Index and search these vectors efficiently. We already know this. Okay. So then we have created an OS.environment. We have used a Grok API key, the one which I have already told you how to create. ठीक है, फिर ये जो की हमने क्रिएट की वो की हम लोग एक ग्रॉक क्लाइंट को पास करते हैं. ठीक है, फिर एक फंक्शन डिफाइन किया है. उसमें क्या होता है कि ये जो मतलब यहाँ पे लिखा है मैंने कि कन्वर्ट्स द फेस वेक्टर स्टोर DB इनटू अ रिट्राइवर. ओके, सो इसमें क्या होता है कि हम जो फर्स्ट 3 मोस्ट रेलेवेंट चंक्स है वो हम लोग रिट्रीवर को दे देते हैं. ठीक है, वो रिट्राइव करता है वो डॉक्यूमेंट बेस में से. फिर डॉक्स होता है जो कि ऑन द बेस ऑफ सिमिलैरिटी और टॉप चंक्स रिट्राइव करता है. और फिर ये सारा चंक गेट्स कंबाइंड इनटू कॉन्टेक्स्ट. ठीक है, इनटू अ सिंगल स्ट्रिंग. ठीक है, फिर ये जो मैंने लिमिट दिया है बिकॉज मॉडल हैज इट्स ओन इनपुट लिमिट्स, तो इसलिए मैंने वो स्ट्रिंग का कॉन्कैटिनेशन किया. ठीक है, फिर देन वी राइट द प्रॉम्प्ट. सो इफ यू गाइज नो देयर आर मेनी टाइप्स ऑफ प्रॉम्प्ट. one shot prompt, few shot prompting, then context based prompting. वन शॉट में ऐसा होता है कि हम लोग एग्जाम्पल देते हैं कि जैसे मुझे बताना है कि मूवी को कैसे रिकमेंड करना है. So I'll tell that person कि I'm giving you in that prompt I'll write I'm giving you I'm giving you an example. So example based prompting होता है वो one shot. Few shot में हम लोग more than one example से. ठीक है, तो दिस इज जीरो शॉट प्रॉम्प्टिंग बिकॉज हम लोग इसमें एग्जाम्पल नहीं दे रहे कि ऐसा होगा तो ऐसा करो. नो, वी आर नॉट डूइंग दैट. सो दिस इज अ कॉन्टेक्स्ट ऑगमेंटेड प्रॉम्प्टिंग विच कम्स अंडर जीरो जीरो शॉट प्रॉम्प्टिंग. ठीक है, उसमें कॉन्टेक्स्ट होता है, क्वेश्चन होता है, उसमें क्वेरी जाता है जो हम एज ए यूजर डालते हैं. ठीक है, फिर आंसर जो होगा वो क्या होगा, रिस्पॉन्स फ्रॉम द LLM. ठीक है, इसमें आई एम यूजिंग मॉडल दैट इज मिस्ट्रल साबा 24 बिलियन पैरामीटर. और ये जो मैसेजेस है, दिस इज अ ओपन एआई स्टाइल फॉर्मेट. सबका एक फॉर्मेट होता है, यू हैव टू फॉलो दैट. टेम्परेचर वो होता है कि कितना रिलेवेंट टू द ऑन पॉइंट आंसर दे रहा है वो. मतलब जैसे आप टेम्परेचर कम करते करते जाओगे वो उसी नॉलेज बेस के अराउंड रिवॉल्व करेगा. ठीक है, मतलब जैसे अगर नॉलेज बेस का लाइक रेडियस 1 सेंटीमीटर है और अगर आप नॉलेज बेस का मतलब डायमीटर अगर बड़ा कर रहे हो, मतलब उसका उसका जो स्कोप है वो वाइडन कर रहे हो, तो उसके चांसेस होते हैं कि वो मॉडल हैलुसिनेट करना चालू करे. इसलिए मैंने टेम्परेचर कम रखा है, दैट इज 0.2. ठीक है, फिर इट गिव्स द रिस्पॉन्स इन चॉइस जीरो. सो चॉइसेस जीरो ये वाले पार्ट में वो रिस्पॉन्स स्टोर हुआ है. ठीक है, वो रिटर्न होता है. सो अब मैंने एक वाइल टू मतलब इनफाइनाइट लूप स्टार्ट किया है जिसमें हम लोग क्वेश्चन ऐड करेंगे और अगर वो नहीं हुआ तो फिर इट वुड बी एग्जिट. सो आई विल रन दिस शिफ्ट एंटर इफ यू वांट टू नो द शॉर्टकट. सो हियर वी हैव टू चूज द फाइल. ठीक है, अब मैं एक योलो वाली फाइल दूंगी. ठीक है, सो ये चंकिंग वाला प्रोसेस चल रहा है, ये थोड़ा स्लो होता है. इट वुड टेक अ व्हाइल. हाँ, so now chunking is been done. So now we can type the question. So I'll ask what is you. So see, it has retrieved the answer from the PDF. So I'll show you the PDF if you guys want to know. Um, so you know. So मैंने ये वाला रिसर्च पेपर दिया था इसके अंदर एज एन इनपुट. ठीक है, ये रिसर्च पेपर था. सो इसके अंडर उसने मुझे ये आंसर रिट्राइव करके दिया. इट इज़ एन रियल टाइम ऑब्जेक्ट सिस्टम दैट फ्रेम्स ऑब्जेक्ट डिटेक्शन. मतलब वो कॉन्टेक्स्ट के अकॉर्डिंग आंसर दिया. अगर आप इसको बेटर डेवलप कर पाओ ना तो यू कैन ऑल्सो गेट द पेज नंबर्स फ्रॉम विच यू आर गेटिंग द आंसर्स. मतलब आप अगर आगे जाके इस चीज़ को एक्सप्लोर करोगे ना यू कैन गेट टू नो दैट टू. ठीक है, ये हमें आंसर मिला. ठीक है, यू कैन राइट इन मतलब यहाँ पे आप क्वेरी डाल सकते हो और अभी आई विल राइट एग्जिट टू एंड माई क्वेरी. So yeah, so in this way we can like work with RAG using all the basic concepts too. इसका यूसेज बहुत वाइड है, बहुत ज़्यादा वाइड है. सो आई वुड सजेस्ट you to get into more of projects, like do project based learning rather than just learning the theory. So yeah, I'll end my part of today. I hope you guys enjoyed. Also, I would like to thank Shresh for getting me connected to RAIT. So, because of him, I was able to present this to you guys. Thank you.
Shreyas, will you like to add something?
No, I think everything is covered.
So now we can take some doubts from the participants. So anyone who is willing to ask any questions to our speaker, kindly open your mic to put your questions in the chat.
Also, I would share some links with maybe Polme. You guys can refer those for if you want some courses or something like that. I think that would be really great. I would suggest you to start with deep learning. Okay. I hope you know what are the basics of data science, ML, everything. And I would suggest, yeah, there's one question. Um, Rian. Okay. What foundational skills like NLP database or vector search should a student start learning to work with LLMs and RAG effectively? For that, see, you can start working with LLMs at any point of time if you know Python. Okay, this is the very basic thing. But in addition with, if you want to know the back end of it, you should know NLP. The basic terms like tokenization, maybe stemming, lemmatization, everything. Do you guys have a subject NLP in your course or something? Or else you can do a course on Coursera. I would highly recommend. Have a better understanding of NLP before getting into um, generative AI, because you should know how text works. Okay. So then deep learning foundations can be referred. Database and everything would be understood by you if you know DBMS, SQL, everything. But that can be learned side by side while working with RAG systems or LLMs. So, foundational skills would be just NLP and Python. I would say this.
So thank you so much, Ms. Saili Jadhav and Shreyas, for such an amazing insight and an insightful session. Your ability to break down complex topics and connect them to real world use cases has greatly enriched our understanding of Gen AI. The session today has helped us see not only how LLMs function, but also how to approach their design. As we come to the conclusion of this enriching workshop, I'd like to take a moment to thank everyone who contributed to this success. So, on behalf of RAIT ACM Student Chapter, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to our speaker, Ms. Saili Jadhav, for taking the time to be with us today and for imparting her valuable knowledge. A special thanks goes to the organizing team whose dedicated efforts behind the scenes have made this event possible. Lastly, a big thank you to all the attendees for your active participation. We hope this session has been enriching and that you take away valuable learnings from it. With that, we conclude today's event. Thank you and have a great day ahead.
Thank you, guys.
Also, a feedback form will be shared with all of you all, and the certificates will be given further. So, I hope all of you all fill the form.